Welcome to my DIY scrap wood project. I've got this fire pit that I use occasionally, and the rest of the time it just sits around in the garden getting rustier. So I thought it was time to do something about that. I've got a load of old scrap pieces of wood, offcuts from when I've been doing jobs around the house. And so I thought what I do with these is just simply make a tabletop for it, to make it a nice usable piece of furniture in the garden when we're not using it as a fire pit. So I selected me wood, and I didn't want to use all the crappy pieces, for want of a better word. I want to pick the best that I've got just to make a nice tabletop. I didn't want to be pulling out bits of nail and filling loads of holes. So I selected a few pieces, and then I realised I wasn't happy with that. It wasn't ergonomically pleasing, shall we say. So I spent the next 10 minutes reassembling bits of wood until I got to the stage where I was happy. Next it was time to mark them all up. I marked them all in order and marked which way up they go, and then took them off and stacked them up to make it easier for when I move on to the next phase. It was simply a case then of eyeballing where it was going to fit on a piece of 5.5mm ply, and then measuring the centre just to get him in the right place, and marking a circle around the ply. Now I know the ply is not big enough. It was just a piece I had left over from something else, a bit of flooring I think. The ideal thing would be to use some thicker ply and have it as wide as what the fire pit is. But I didn't have that, so I'm making the best of what I've got. Beautiful job. So next it was just a case of cutting it out. And what I did, I eyeballed this and cut just inside the line, because I want this ply to fit inside the actual fire pit. And there's two reasons for this. One, it gives me a kind of ledge inside so it doesn't slide off, and the other one being that it holds all the wood together. You can see from that where I cut just inside the line. I know there's more fancy ways of doing all this measurement properly, but it's only a little scrap wood project in the garden. In the end I just cut it a little bit big, marked around where I needed to do a little trim, and then went and cut the bits off, and after that he fitted beautifully. You can see the extra bits there that I cut off. So I laid it all out in order and set everything up, ready to glue all the bits of wood together. Oh, this is old glue that I had. Thanks to a pair of pump pliers I managed to get the top off. You can see through this video where I struggle with this. There's dregs of glue in the bottom of that. It was making it really hard work. You'll see later. So it's just a case then, putting the first piece of wood on, gluing up the side. There's nothing technical or difficult about all this. It's a really easy thing to do. Yeah, I was struggling with the glue. Come on, glue. It was actually starting to frustrate me as well. But never mind, I just cracked on with the job. I didn't want to go rushing out and buying loads more wood glue if I've already got some, although it was a bit hard work really just to get the last of the dregs out. You can see from this I just kept repeating the process. As I say, this is a nice easy job you can do for yourself at home with a minimal amount of work. Obviously if you got the right amount of scrap to put together. It was then time to clamp it. All I've got is this single sash clamp, and he's not very strong. So what I thought I'd do, I'd press him on there as best I could, and then put some weight on top of everything just to hold it down, and waited for it to dry. Now when I say waited for it to dry, I didn't leave it long enough. I should have left it overnight really. I only left it for an hour or so, and I thought that would be sufficient, but it turns out it wasn't. But I'll get to that later. Then it's just a case of screwing it all together. These are plasterboard screws, the 35mm. Probably not the best screws to use. But as I say, I'm just using up scrap bits that I've got. Beautiful job on my little Milwaukee 12-volt impact driver. I was quite satisfied for that. So now it was time to draw a nice circle around the outside so that I could cut the tabletop out, and this was easy really. I just measured halfway along the ply, made a point, put in a plasterboard screw halfway down, and it's just attached a piece of string to a bit of pencil. I guess this technique's been used for thousands and thousands of years, so you don't have to go out and buy any expensive bits of kit to do this. If it was good enough for the Romans, it's good enough for me. It's easy enough just to draw around. Make a nice circle, which obviously this needed to overlap the actual fire pit to give it a nice lip. So then it was time to cut the tabletop out. You'll note from this that I'm using the piece of ply that I cut off earlier. So that was there to keep the jigsaw nice and level. If I hadn't have used that, the jigsaw would be on an angle, and I'd have an angle to my tabletop. So it was just a case of just following the line round nice and carefully. You don't want to rush this. If you go off line and you take a chunk out, it's just going to look horrible. So as I said, it's just best to take your time with this. Keep it tidy as you go so you can see where your line is, and just following round. I was getting to the point then when I regretted not wearing my steel toe cap safety boots. I completely forgot that when I went through this, there was a big piece of wood and he dropped on me toe. Luckily I got away with it. So then it was a case of just going round in a circle, following that line. That was the only thing that was important to me, was following that line. And after I cut him out, he fitted beautifully. The top edge was a bit harsh, so I wanted to soften him out a bit, and that's where this router comes in. I bought this from Argos years and years and years ago. Challenge Extreme, it said. It's the worst router I think you could own, but never mind, it was the only router I had. I had a cheap set of bits as well, so I selected one which I thought would give me a edge I want, and then set it all up and went round the top. And to be fair, it did a reasonable job. This is more of a rustic piece. This is not fine woodwork. It's going to sit in the garden. It's not going to sit in a tape gallery or a museum or anything. So I was quite happy with that finish that I got. This is where I had to do an extra step to make up for my impatience. I hadn't left the whole thing long enough for the glue to go off, and the ply underneath was a bit flexible, so the whole thing started to flex about a bit. Luckily I had a bit of extra glue as well in the garage. It's just a little tub of the stuff I had. It was an absolute lifesaver because I'd run out of the other stuff. What I needed to do then was fill all the gaps and the cracks. just to make sure that when this dried, the whole thing was going to stay solid. You can see the flecks in it there from the ply underneath. I went a bit crazy then. I thought there's no way I'm going to have to do this job. So any gaps, I went and filled it with glue. I suppose that's a lesson learned, really. I should have just left the whole thing in the first place to dry properly. So it was out with me clamp again, the one that doesn't clamp particularly tight, and clamped him all together and left it overnight, and then it was ready for day 2. He was absolutely solid the next morning, so I took my clamp off. I could do with an extra clamp, really. I need to invest in one. One's not quite enough. I'll set it all up then on top of my workmate and just gave it a quick sanding over. I was using my Ryobi belt sander that I've had for years and years. I didn't expect much of it, but it turned out to be a really good tool. And it was a case of just painting it all up. I was painting the underside first. As I think I said earlier, this is a simple project. Just about anybody could do this. The paint I was using was some Cuprinol. It's really good stuff. Garden Shades it's called. It's got a really nice pigment to it. So next it was time to turn my attention to the fire pit. This poor rusty old jobber just needed a little bit of a refresh. So I went over him with a wire brush, and to be fair, the metal underneath was so much better than what I thought it was going to be. I was well pleased with that. After a bit of a tidy up, it was time to coat the surface of him. Now I didn't want to use any chemicals with this after I finished brushing them all off. So what I used was some rapeseed oil, or you Americans, you call it canola oil. Now, the reason for using this is that it's environmentally friendly. I don't want to use any petrochemicals on it. I didn't want to go out and buy a load of paint to put on there. I also made sure that I did the inside of the legs as well. While that was drying, it was time to paint the other side of the tabletop. And then put the whole thing together. So there you have it, a simple little scrapwood project to improve your fire pit. I was quite pleased with the result. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.